if you find yourself clear on what you need. Yet your voice vanishes the moment you are face to face with someone who pushes back. Stay here for a moment. You know the feeling. You rehearse what you will say. You feel strong when you are alone. You know your limit. You know your line. And then they are standing there. And something in you collapses. The words disappear. Your throat closes. And you say nothing. Or worse, you say yes. If this is you, stay here for a moment. Here is what to understand about this pattern. It is not a sign that you are weak. It is not evidence that you do not have boundaries. It is not a failure of courage or conviction. It is an adaptation. Something your nervous system learned to do. Because at some point it needed to. The energetic memory comes first. Somewhere in your childhood, you learned that asserting yourself was dangerous. Maybe you set a boundary and it was ignored. Maybe you said no and you were punished. Maybe you learned that the cost of standing up for yourself was higher than the cost of staying silent. Your nervous system learned something specific from this. It learned that boundaries do not work. That saying no leads to worse outcomes. That the safest thing to do is collapse. So your body learned to freeze. Not because you do not know what you need. Because your system remembers. What happened the last time you tried to protect yourself? Here is what that means practically. The boundary paralysis is not a choice. It is a reflex. When you are face to face with someone who pushes back, your nervous system does not evaluate whether the situation is actually dangerous. It activates the old learning. The learning that says, if you hold your ground, something bad will happen. So you freeze. Your voice vanishes. Your throat closes. Your mind goes blank. And you comply. Not because you want to. Because your body learned that compliance is the only way to survive. This is the resonance angle. What you are carrying inside resonates with what is outside that matches it. If you learn that boundaries lead to conflict or punishment, you will be drawn to people who confirm that belief. Not because you want to be overstepped. Because the familiar feels like home. And people who respect your no. Who do not push back. Who hear your boundary and honor it. They may feel wrong. Not wrong because they are wrong. Wrong because your nervous system does not recognize them. They do not fit the template. They do not activate the familiar pattern of collapse and freeze. The person who makes your voice vanish is not more powerful than you. They are familiar. And the collapse you feel is not proof that you are weak. It is the cost of a pattern that was never updated. Here is what this pattern is costing you. You know what you need, but you cannot access it when it matters. You feel strong when you are alone. But the moment someone challenges you, you lose yourself. You stay in situations that hurt you. Because leaving requires a boundary that your body does not believe you are allowed to have. You feel ashamed because you know better, and you cannot do better. Not because you are not trying, because your nervous system is running a program that was written before you had a choice. And underneath the paralysis, there is a younger part of you that learned that your voice does not matter. That part is still waiting for someone to say, you are allowed to take up space. Your no matters. I will not punish you for protecting yourself. In the session that follows, we are going to work with this pattern directly. Not by rehearsing boundary scripts. Not by practicing what to say. By going into the body, where the freeze lives, and updating what the nervous system believes about asserting yourself. The session will guide you through the felt sense of the collapse, the beliefs beneath the paralysis. The younger part of you that learned that your boundaries will not be respected. And then it will resource that part with something it did not have back then. Your presence as an adult, your capacity to be with what arises, and a deeper truth about who you actually are. Beneath the freeze. Let's now go to the integration session. If you find yourself clear on what you need, yet your voice vanishes the moment you are face to face with someone who pushes back, stay here for a moment. Take a slow breath and arrive here. You do not need to analyze anything. Let the words land where they land. Your body will take what it needs. This material is emotionally activating by design. It works by meeting what you are carrying directly, to get the full benefit and stay present rather than overwhelmed. Tap gently on a single point as you listen. If you know AFT, you can use all 9 points. But using only a single point, such as karate chop or collarbone, keeps your attention inside the feeling, rather than tracking where to tap next, and is just as effective. And begin. I now recall how this pattern shows up in my life. I expect that setting a boundary will lead to conflict. I believe my limits will not be respected if challenged. I assume I will crumble under pressure from intense people. I think my needs are less important than keeping peace. I tend to abandon myself when someone resists me. If this resonates, we will now gently connect with the emotional experience behind this pattern. I know what I need but freeze when I try to say it. I struggle to hold boundaries with intense or manipulative people. I collapse when someone pushes back against my limits. I feel strong alone but weak in the moment with them. I avoid setting boundaries because I expect conflict. I backtrack after asserting myself. I feel guilty immediately after trying to protect myself. I let people overstep because confrontation feels overwhelming. I struggle to maintain limits once someone resists them. I feel powerless when people ignore my boundaries. Even though this part of me freezes and collapses when someone pushes back. This is just a passing pattern arising in consciousness. Not who I really am. I am so scared of their reaction. Their voice gets louder and I disappear inside. I feel my throat close up. Notice how this feels in your body. I cannot say no to them. They will be angry and I will shatter. I am small and they are huge. Breathe into the heaviness. Why do I always give in? I hate myself after. Let the body soften a little. Their disappointment will destroy me. I feel hot and frozen at the same time. I notice my mind watching this fear arise. There is no way out of this moment. I am trapped inside their energy. Notice how this sits in your chest. I must keep them calm to survive. My legs feel weak and shaky. I observe this old terror passing through. Breathe into the pressure behind my eyes. I am wrong for wanting space. They will leave if I say no. I feel the guilt rising like nausea. I am nothing without their approval. I can stay here with this exactly as it is. This experience moves through me and I remain. I do not need to fix what is arising. Underlying beliefs, asterisk. Perhaps I believe that my safety depends on others staying calm. Maybe I think confrontation will annihilate me. It is possible I carry a belief that my needs are inherently selfish. I could be operating from the assumption that I cannot survive someone's displeasure. It is conceivable that my nervous system confuses boundary setting with childhood danger. Possibly there is an ego strategy that keeps me small to avoid punishment or abandonment. I may be replaying a pattern where silence kept me safer than speaking up. It could be that I learned my limits do not matter to the people who raised me. I might believe that love and self-protection cannot coexist. These beliefs are echoes from past relationships and are not the truth of who I am. I am outgrowing the old identity of the compliant one, who must dissolve to keep connection. Adult self, gently turn toward your inner child. I am sorry to my inner child, who experienced that saying no led to punishment or withdrawal. I am sorry you learned that your voice was dangerous, and that peace came at the cost of yourself. I see that you froze to survive, and that was wise then. Your awareness is safe now. Your feelings rise and fall like weather. I am the stable sky that holds all of it. Inner child speaks. Oh, you are not going to leave when I feel this. Maybe I can just feel my throat without having to fix it. Adult speaks, asterisk. I give you permission to heal the freeze without rushing. I give you permission to forgive yourself for every time you collapsed. I release any guilt and shame you carry for protecting yourself. I honor our journey through all those moments of powerlessness. I love you exactly as you are, frozen parts and all. You are safe to let go and be yourself now, because I am here. And I will protect us. These feelings are passing experiences, not defining reality. Message from higher self, asterisk. Now that we've felt and honored the experience, allow understanding and light to arise naturally. The truth is your worth was never negotiable. The belief that you must surrender your boundaries to be safe was an illusion, born of old rooms you no longer live in. You are not weak in the moment. You are waking up to a sensation that was once survival, and now is simply a signal. Thoughts, fears, and collapsing sensations are temporary appearances in consciousness. The one who notices the freeze is already free. You have never been broken. You have been loyal to a protection that is ready to soften. Filling the void, asterisk. Structure, I can pause before responding and feel my feet on the ground. Backing, a steady presence behind me holds this moment with me. Containment, I can feel the fear rise and stay inside my own skin. Calibration, I learn from each small boundary without shame. The ask, inner child, asterisk. I give myself permission to feel the tightness in my throat without acting on it. I allow the fear to be present for one breath before I decide what to say. Adult self, asterisk. I choose to stay present while I feel the urge to backtrack. And I do not have to act on that urge. I can say nothing right now and still remain connected to myself. Higher self, asterisk. I allow the body to learn at its own pace what safety feels like during gentle resistance. I release control over how this unfolds, and simply let awareness witness the sensations. Bridge into your new reality. Where there used to be immediate collapse, there is now a tiny pause where I feel my breath. I still feel the pressure to give in. And in the same field of awareness, I also feel my own feet on the floor. The conflict has not changed, yet something inside me is not disappearing the way it used to. Reclaim your power, asterisk. I release the belief that I cannot survive someone's disappointment. And I choose to let my nervous system learn this slowly through lived experience. I witness myself feeling fear and collapse. And I know the one witnessing is already whole, capable, and untouched. Seeing it done, I imagine myself feeling a strange new steadiness. The other person pushes back, and instead of vanishing, I feel a warm pressure in my chest and a clear thought. I can pause. My voice is quiet but mine. I say I need a moment. And I take a breath. The world does not end. Their reaction comes and goes like weather. And I am still here, still myself, still breathing. In a parallel reality, this is already ordinary. My throat is soft and open, and my words come out like water finding its own path. My legs are steady underneath me, and I feel the ground holding every part of me. Their voice moves around me, and I stay right here, calm and present like a tree in wind. This is just a normal, quiet shift in how my body responds. There is nothing dramatic here. Just life, learning, and a little more space inside. Now experience a new future. I am right there in the moment it usually happens. They push back. Their voice changes. I feel the old familiar squeeze in my throat and the heat behind my eyes. But this time I do not disappear. I notice the sensations. My breath is still moving. My feet are still on the floor. I am here. I let the fear rise without running. I feel my chest tighten. And I breathe into the edge of it. I do not need to answer right now. I let 1 second pass. Then another. My hand rests on my leg. I feel the fabric. I am not floating away. The thought comes, they will be angry. I see the thought like a cloud. I do not grab it. I feel my ribs expand with air. I look at their face and I notice my voice is not gone. It is resting. I say, I hear you, I still need what I said. The words are quiet. My stomach flutters. I do not fix their reaction. I let it be theirs. I feel a strange, unfamiliar sense of completion. Not victory. Just a soft, grounded rightness. My shoulders are not up by my ears. My jaw is not locked. I feel a small wave of relief. Like putting down a heavy bag I forgot I was carrying. I breathe out slowly. I am okay. This is what it feels like to stay inside myself when someone pushes. My body is learning. This is normal now. This is safe. Allow this felt sense to continue integrating naturally in the body and in life. Take a deep breath, feel the shift, and smile. Let this settle gently. There's nothing you need to do right now. You can return to this whenever you feel called. Be gentle with yourself. If this cycle just named something you have never heard spoken out loud before, save this and watch it twice. Just notice what your body does the second time through.